Welcome back, welcome back. Welcome back to a Bible for Talk with me, Dwayne Brown. And here at Bible for Talk, we talk about the Bible. We read books about the Bible. We even read the Bible. And we are on our third book, basically a chapter on the hidden truth revealed. The truth about the rapture by Brother Herbert J. Brunswick. And let's get into it. Let's continue this reading. Try to get back down, like I said before, let's try to get back down this minutes. Get it down, get it down, get it down. What a great day to read a book about the Heavenly Father. Alright, let's continue from where we left off a little bit. Alright, here we go. These are the ones that the highways invite to the wedding, good and bad, described in the parable in Matthew 22, verse 1 to 14. All right. Some misinterpretations. Now, I know that many of us were convinced at one point or another that the unrighteous people will be left behind when Christ returns. For the most part, this doctrine was supported by misinterpretation of Zechariah 14. Everyone, including me, thought that Zechariah 14 was describing the time of the millennium. But in light of the fact that the unrighteous will be destroyed when Christ returns, we need to ask ourselves, how can Zechariah 14 describe the millennium? The answer is Zechariah 14 is not describing the millennium, but is describing the period after the millennium. Let's look at a few verses to show this. People, once again, can't stress it enough. Please read, man. Please read the text. Please read the Bible, man. Every time I give a book, a chapter, a verse, read it on your own, man. A little bit above, a little bit below. You know what I mean? Maybe I called the wrong words and you misunderstand it, what it's actually saying. By you reading it, you get a good idea. You know what I mean? You could say, oh, you misinterpreted, you misread this word and stuff. And not only that, to me, it's better when you actually could see it for yourself and not just hearing. Hearing is good, but seeing it for yourself, just like when people tell you how to make something, it's good. Yeah, a lot of people may understand it, but when you actually do it on your own, that's when you get the actual good comprehension of doing it. And it's a lot easier the next time than if somebody just describing it and telling you how to do it. You know what I mean? It's way better when you do it on your own, just like when you read it. If you go and you read it on your own, you seeing it, it's better. Please read the text, man. Don't be ashamed. Let's look at a few verses to show this. First, as we look at Zechariah 14:3, it reads, "Then shall the Lord go forth and fight against those nations, as when he fought in the day of battle." The first thing we need, okay, here we go. The first thing we need to identify is, when did the Lord fight those nations before? As in the day of battle. When was this day of battle? The answer is in Revelation chapter 16, verse 15 to 16, which describe the preparation to fight with the saints and Christ at his second coming. This is known as the Battle of
1,000 years.
Yeah, that battle is after the 1,000 years. I'm quite positive of that. That's when Satan gonna bring Achan and something other people, bring them together, and they try to fight the people at the new the new Jerusalem, or whatever they call it. I can't really remember it. The new forgive me. Yeah, they brought them there, and I'm trying to fight. He's gonna bring everybody else that didn't have a chance. I think those people did not actually have a chance to hear the gospel, and they actually had a chance now to hear the gospel. You know what? I always tell myself, I need to stop if I'm not. I remember the story, remember this, but I'm not fully, so I'm just gonna leave it and see where he goes, and if a recollection come back, if I recall it, well, I'll go from there. Where was I? Armageddon, the Battle of Armageddon. This first battle is further described in Revelation 19:11 and Revelation 19:17. This is before the millennium begins. Those verses also describe more in details Christ's return. Millennium, that's 100 years, right? Not 1,000 years, right? I don't. When Christ came back for his people, I don't even think there was a fight. Alright, then come on, let me continue and stop trying to bring that together. This is before the millennium begins. Those verses also describe more in the detail Christ's return. At this time, the remaining remnant of the unrighteous people were slain with the sword of Christ, and all the fowls were filled with their flesh. Revelations 19:21. The second battle is 1,000 years after the return of the Lord, when Satan will be loose again to deceive the nation, and after the second resurrection. The resurrection of the unrighteous. This can be found in Revelation 25-9. Revelations 25-9. In this battle, fire come down from heaven. Fire come down from God out of heaven and devour them. So we see that Zechariah 14:3 is referring to the last battle that will occur after the 1,000 years have ended, not before. As we read further in Zechariah 14, we see in verse 7, where it describes how there will be light both day and night. Same as described in Revelation 21 verse 23 and 22 verse 5. Zechariah 14 verse 7 is described in Revelation 20 verse 9. Zechariah 14 verse 16-21 suggests that there will be people after the second resurrection who will not be devoured by fire from heaven with everyone who fought in the second battle. But this does not describe the millennium period, because it describes the people who are left of the nations which come against Jerusalem. Yeah, the New Jerusalem. The beloved city, as described in Revelation 20 verse 9. In the second battle, not the first, Isaiah 66 verse 22-24 gives a similar account of this period described in Zechariah 14 verse 16-21. People, I am giving out a lot of books. Please write it down. Pause. It's a video. You can pause, write it down, and you could go and find it and read it. Or you could keep watching the video after you write it down, and then read it, and watch it the second time so you could get a better understanding of what's going on. But I strongly suggest that you read it on your own, and don't try to allow what I'm reading be use it as a blueprint so that you could see things and as a different perspective, and use your own understanding of the text that you have from prior and that, and also use the verses and let the verses show your way. I mean, if you're not diverse in verses, man, well, use your discernment. Use your discernment and see what is right and what is wrong. That's all I could talk about that, but read it, because you go in the church, man, there's so many people in the church, and they're talking about this and this, and it's, oh, what pastor said this, pastor said that. Pastor, okay, who's pastor? God? Is he God? What the Bible tell you? Huh? What the Bible tell you? What did you understand when you read? Huh? They always were pastor. I think Bible did talk about that. People that love the vessel more than the creator. All right, let's continue. Also, another area of misunderstanding of what will happen during Christ's second coming is how people interpret 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 verse 2, where it talks about Christ coming as a thief in the night. It reads, For yourselves know it perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. All right. Like I said, with these, it's very good to read a little bit above, a little bit below, so that you could get the understanding of why this was written, why did they even put this in there. They suggest that this is how a secret rapture will occur. They suggest that this is how a secret rapture will occur, where the world will not know what has happened. But the very next verse say, For when they shall say peace and safety, then suddenly destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. What destruction will they not escape? Death. And what will not escape it? Well, let's go to another area in scripture where it described the Lord's coming as a thief in the night. 2 Peter chapter 3 verse 10 reads, But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up. Also read Matthew chapter 13 verse 24 to 30, chapter 13 37 to 42, chapter 13 47 to 50, all Matthew. For another occur of the unrighteous burn up at the coming of the Lord. People, once again, please read. Always read the text and get a better understanding of it. And I have a Bible, a few Bibles. I have like suggestion at the bottom of it, a study Bible, and at the bottom of it, the pastor or whosoever write it, they just write down, right at the bottom of it, what they think and get the understanding of what the verse meaning. It's a good thing and a bad thing. I mean, it's a good thing and a bad thing. It's a bad thing for people that don't really get a a little understanding of the text, because what he's putting on the bottom there is his thought or his understanding of what he believed this text is saying. And when people read it, they will mostly go with what's at the bottom than what's at the top, because the top is mostly probably might be a parable and that will discernment, but the bottom is just outright what it is. So it's mostly that one bottom might stick with them, and it's that person that rewrite that point of view or what they think it means. That doesn't mean it's right. So I personally believe those Bibles is that it's a study Bible. So to me, those Bibles is supposed to be people that get a little bit higher up or some kind of understanding of the text. So if you're now starting off, go get a Bible without those. Just go get a real genuine Bible. How clear can this be, folks? 2 Peter explain what sudden destruction will come on the earth, that no man living on earth shall escape. This sudden destruction will accompany the Lord's return. It starts with the wrath of God in the sixth seal. It clearly says that when the Lord cometh as a thief in the night, in the which at that time the earth will burn up with fervent heat. Again, this where is this? This demonstrates that the one described in Matthew 24 verse 40 to 41 will be taken and destroyed at the Lord's coming. Also, in that day, the beast and the false prophet will be thrown alive into the lake of fire and burning earth. Revelation 19 verse 20. I gotta reread this and also look on that somewhere. And the beast was taken, and with him, Revelation 19 verse 20. And the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him, with which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast, and them that worship his image. These both were cast alive into the lake of fire burning with brimstone. This fire and brimstone is like the day of Lot, which is before the 1,000 years begin. Yeah. Forgive me. As I read this, like I said, man, with this, I haven't read this in a long time, and certain things. Let's say, read on your own, get your own understanding of what you believe what it is. Write down a comment down there, and we could talk about it. But alright, let me continue. The fire and brimstone is like the day of Lot. This is before the 1,000 years begin. But I am comforted by 1 Thessalonians 5:4. It reads, "But ye, brethren, are not in darkness, that day should overtake you as a thief." Another witness of 2 Peter chapter 3 verse 10 shows that the earth will be burnt up upon Christ's second coming. Is found in Isaiah 24 verse 1 to 6. Verses 1 and 3 tell us that the Lord will make the earth empty. Verse 6 tells us that the inhabitants of the earth are burned and few men left. Who are the few left? It is the 144,000 redeemed from among men and the wedding guests. Matthew chapter 22 verse 1 to 14. Shall another witness, still another witness to 2 Peter chapter 3 verse 10, showing what will happen upon the Lord's second coming, is found in Jeremiah chapter 4 verse 19 to 27. It talks about the blowing of the trumpet and destruction upon destruction, and how the earth will become desolate so that no man can be found. Even the birds flee after they eat all the flesh of men, of course, and all the cities are broken down at the fierce anger of the Lord. But verse 27 say, ye will I not make a full end. Why? Because this is the beginning of the process for new heaven and the new earth. Alright, I'm going to take a stop right here for today. Normally as I read, thoughts come to my head at the end of where I normally talk about, and for some strange reason today nothing came. So I'll just call it quits, and I don't want to force myself to start talking things that I shouldn't, because when you do that, you start to make things about you instead of what your original purpose is. My original purpose for these videos and for this channel is to actually to get the word out, not mostly my thoughts on things, but the word of the text. Reading the Bible, people who don't have time to actually read it, people that find books that have, to me, a better understanding of the text, and not mainstream Christianity. You know, not the type of Christianity where you outside is one thing and inside is another. You know what I mean? But the type of Christianity where everybody is, and whether you're inside a building or outside of a building, your thought, your thinking process, and the way you walk and live is the same. I'm not going to talk about, I think I'll make a video about how the people of the church supposed to live, because if you look, when the people take over Canaan, and they set up the Levites. The Levites didn't have the land, and they set up the Levites. That's how the Levites are set up. That's how the church is supposed to be set up. And the way how the Levites conduct stuff is the way how we supposed to live. It's a very good example to me. And the way our Levites take care of the Levites, and the people take care of the Levites, and how the system they had. And to me, it probably might be something similar to what Christ was teaching them for that 40 days as he walked among men after his death. Alright, maybe that later on I'll get some more text to back that up and make a video about that. But as of right now, thank you very much for joining me, Dwayne Brown, at Bible for Talk. Please do come again. Please like, share, subscribe. Let's get the word out, do our due diligence, and let's live better. Alright.